What is up guys, it's Dao, and today guys, ang pag-uusapan natin ay hindi na assassin kundi ang monk. And monk is one of the most durable or class no sa game, no. So sila yung mga pinakamakunat dito sa laro natin, no. Most of the time yung HP nila talagang sila ang may pinaka highest HP na class sa game na to, no. So they are also considered as most of them are considered as guild leaders kasi sobrang kunat nila. They can definitely withstand yung damages coming from their opponents, no. So we're gonna discuss first yung weapon ng monk, which is first one here is yung staff, yung Holy Judgment staff. But any staff will do. We're just gonna discuss the skill of the staff, no. So yun, before we start, yung staff is I will consider this as the main weapon of monk in a low rate server. Bakit? Kasi yung staff will actually give the player a additional block on top of the strength, no? Not unlike other weapons that yung weapon ng say yung weapon na ito na lang gawin natin sample, no. Yung shovel ng monk doesn't have any additional block, but staff has, no. So kaya siya maganda na weapon ng isang monk, no. Especially if you are a sailor, this will help you a lot, no. And also sa player versus player or duel mode, staff is also the number one option because it yung isa niyang skill actually gives a lot of damage per second to your opponent. So discuss muna natin yung skill ng staff. Ano po? So the first skill is yung Fatal Probe, which give a damage to your opponent at the cost of 100% additional damage multiplied by your base damage. So this, i-check natin yan dito, i-duel natin. Yan. So yung Fatal Probe is the first skill of the monk, which actually gives only like a basic animation sa model, no. And then also this one, since most of the time ang first skill naman ng mga class are the most basic ones, no. This syempre it will require you to give low stamina, and of course load hindi naman ganun kataas ang damage din, no. So this one will cost you 20 stamina at the distance of 40. It is instant release. Most of the skill of melee class are instant. And this one, extra damage niya is nga basic damage multiplied by at 100%, and it doesn't give any debuff from your opponent, so it's just a normal parang it's a normal attack for me, no? Normal skill yan. So yan lang naman yung ano niya, no. Okay, so that's number one. And the second skill, which is the most important skill of a monk when it comes to damage, which is yung Fatal Burning niya. So yung Fatal Burning is also an instant release, but it will cost you 60 stamina. But this one will burn your opponent. Just don't mind the points kasi depende pa rin yan, sabi ko nga, depende yan sa suot nyo, sa buff nyo, kung gaano kalaki talaga yung damage, no. But this one will last at 15 seconds. So yung kalaban mo mababurn na, nasa burn state siya within 15 seconds, and it will take every I think it will take every 3 seconds or 5 seconds. I think 3 ticks siya, no, hindi ako nagkakamali. This one can attack 3 enemies at the same time, no. So within the span of the distance, kung sino pinakamalapit, malalagyan sila ng apoy. So ito yung skill na yon. Yan. So magkakaroon siya ng 15 seconds Yun nga, ito. Gaya na sa, hindi pala siya 3 ticks, no? Every 3 seconds, magtitik yung damage niya that will cause the enemy at I think around 1.7 or 1.2 damage, no? So imagine multiply nyo na lang yun by 5, yun yung damage nyo sa kalaban within 15 seconds. That's why it's very helpful and it's very important to always use Fatal Burning in PK and Guild War, and also in other tournaments that requires you that requires a monk to be there, no? So yun, Fatal Burning is 10 out of 10. Fatal Probe, it's around parang 6 out of 10, no, when it comes to skill usage, no. Next is yung Fatal Bash, which also the most important skill of the monk. This one is Fatal Bash is your substitute skill to Fatal Burning. No, bakit? Kasi Fatal Burning will last at 15 seconds. Eh, ayaw mo naman mag-recast ng same skill if it's still ongoing, no? So, ang next mong ibabanat is yung Fatal Bash. Ito siya. Ay, hindi pala to. Fatal Sadness pala to na pindot ko. Hold on. Yan. Fatal Bash, yan. So, Fatal Bash actually gives you, actually requires you to use 40 stamina. Unlike Fatal Probe, only 20, but this one is actually, I think, sa base damage siya naka-base, no? Yung Fatal Bash have, I think, twice the damage of Fatal Probe, no? So it's much higher damage kung ako tatanungin nyo with a single skill, kasi ang problem mo lang is this one will cost you 40 stamina, no? But ito yung pinakamagandang pang responde sa Fatal Burning, no? So parang ganyan, no? Diba? So yan, ang next skill natin is yung Fatal Crack, which is di pa natin kasi nadaanan yung Tamer, no? But Fatal Crack will actually give your opponent a debuff of defense decrease, no? So meaning lalambot siya ng ng 1 minute, no? So this one actually requires you to use 60 stamina, no? So 60 stamina, but the debuff will last for for 1 minute. So it's actually helpful, especially if you are on a boss hunt, nagda-dungeon ka. Even in PK actually, helpful din siya, no? So here's the animation. Yan. So kapag gano'n lang siya kabilis, then may kita mo yun sa kalaban mo na nagkaroon siya ng debuff, and it will last for 1 minute. Okay? So, sobrang tagal niya, no? Sobrang tagal na debuff niya kung ako tatanungin. So, talagang sulit siya gamitin. But, you also need to strategize because nangihingi siya ng 60 stamina, no? Next, which is the final skill of the monk, is yung Fatal Sadness. So, Fatal Sadness, it says here that it confuses your target, no, and will cause some damage, and will also decrease the basic attack by 340 points, and it will last for 15 seconds. So this one will only last for 15 seconds. If yung Fatal Crack is a defense decrease, this one is a damage decrease debuff. So meaning mawawalan ng damage or bababa yung damage ng opponent mo. And in addition, kung napansin nyo, confused target, if you actually upgrade the skill point of Fatal Sadness, you will able to see that it will says here that increase the possibility by 25% to shock feint target for 5 seconds. So yung Fatal Sadness have a chance to stun your enemy by 25% since naka 5 yung skill point niya. So, every time na ikakas mo yung Fatal Sadness, may chance na ma-stun yung kalaban mo, no? So, yun yung kagandahan sa skill na to. So, on top of attack decrease, may chance pa siyang ma-stun for 5 seconds, no? So, I think kapag ka na-discuss natin yung shovel, mapagko-compare nyo talaga na mas maganda ang staff pagdating sa monk, no? But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Kung meron man ako nakalimutan, and if you have suggestions, you can always follow my socials at Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Next discussion natin will be the shovel of the monk. Yun lang guys, hanggang sa muli. Peace out.